I just changed a thing. See if it helps.
I require a target.
May need to do like a reinstall of OBS.
You know what they say about I'll give you one.
I do not have a target. I require a target. I do not have a target.
Ooh, almost had a second person fall down that rift.
target something first.
Did we go the right way? No, we didn't.
I must get closer. I do not have a target.
Watch your step.
Preserve? Why? There's no truth in it. No, no, no. I see. Finish it! Life thunder. Preserve me.
I'm leaving, sorry. I got my 5 done.
Wealth can solve any problem.
Please, proceed.
Iris of the Dark Beyond. Oof.
Elune Adore. Good luck.
Okay. It was that. All right. OBS, you fine? Yep, you're fine. I'm going to open up my browser, and we are going to resume watching.
Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is or a little cooldown if you want to stack the puddles. It also leaves a debuff, so don't take two back to back. Manifest matrices will mark players to drop purple garbage, run that out and leave them safely off to the side. Don't touch them, they'll stun you.
Okay.
Eradicating Salvo is a group soak, keep it close to the boss, and nearby players can jump in to help share the hit. At 100 energy, it's phase 2 time. We need to follow the boss, dodging all kinds of stuff, and use our extra action button to blink through the oncoming wall. Once we've caught up, DPS off his shield to interrupt him and get back to phase 1. There's plenty of raid damage going on, so this is a nice spot for healing cooldowns. On normal, that's it. On heroic, we get 2 new things. First, some extra circles to dodge in phase 1, and then the Eradicating Salvo group soak gets a heroic upgrade. Instead of just 1 soak, it's going to do 2 in quick succession, and taking the soak knocks you back. So have half of your soakers take the first hit, and the second half step in for the second blast. No big deal. And that's Plexus Sentinel. Thanks for watching. I've got more raid guides if you want them, and have
Simple
a
first
wonderful, wonderful day. Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Lumathar fight in Manaforge Omega on normal and heroic difficulty. This may go down as the raid boss with the most memorable animation for a phase transition, and that's saying something when we once had Cahoon, squirt himself out of a wall. Piercing Strand is our tank mechanic. It's a line attack aimed at the tank that does big damage and leaves a short debuff. The boss likes to do 2 of these back to back, so swap between casts and make sure nobody else is in the line. Lair Weaving forms a deadly collapsing web ring. The raid needs to kill a node to create a gap and then escape.
Classic.
Infusion Tether will yank a few players in and tie them to the boss. Stretching the tether to 40 yards will break it and drop a puddle. Run away from the boss to snap your line, and try to contain the goop by keeping it on one side.
Okay.
Over Infusion Burst is a massive AoE. Run to the very edge of the room to get out of it before it goes boom. This is where it's nice if you were pretty tidy with the tether puddles. At 50% health, Lumathar comes down, dinner raiders regret trying to eat and play at the same time, and it's time for phase 2. This gross fountain situation leaves a growing danger puddle, so we're kind of on a clock here. Writhing Wave is a big cone aimed at the tank. This is a shared soak and it leaves a 25-second dot on everyone that takes it. You want to split the raid in half and rotate who takes each Writhing Wave, so there's plenty of time for the dot to fall off. Get lots of people in the cone and don't take 2 of these back to back. Aside from that, just heal raid damage, dodge circles, and you're golden. On normal, that's it. On heroic, things get just a little trickier. Instead of just nuking a web node for the phase 1 shrinking ring thing, the tanks now need to hit a node with their piercing strand line to make it attackable. You get 2 goes at this, but make sure at least one of them hits a web node so the raid can hop on it, kill it, and pass through safely. The tether lines also get an upgrade. On heroic, if you are standing in a puddle when your tether snaps, you'll be stunned for 5 seconds. This prevents you from stacking all your puddles in one spot. Spread out a little with your tether snaps. And that's Lumathar. Thanks for watching. I've got more raid guides if you want them, and have a...
Hey, Soulbinder.
Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Soulbinder Nazindri fight in Manaforge Omega on normal and heroic difficulty. This is a single phase fight, and the basic idea is to kill your proverbial chickens before they hatch. Mystic Lash is our tank mechanic. She channels onto her target, stacking up a magic dot. Tank swap between casts, or just when the stack starts to feel dangerous. You may notice various groups of jars around the room. Each jar is busy trying to hatch an ad. You want to bring the boss to a group of jars so we can break them and kill some ads early. Then you don't have to fight the entire room full of ads at once when they finish hatching. To break the jars, we'll need Sulfray Annihilation. The boss will aim orbs at players like this. Stand behind a jar so the orb hits the jar instead of you. Then you can cleave down the ad and move the boss to fresh jars. Soulfire Convergence marks players to fire out less useful orbs. Run out a bit if you're marked and dodge those. When the jars finish incubating, the remaining ads that you didn't get to yet will hatch and you have to fight them properly. The mages cast, the assassins jump behind people to stab them, and the phase blades are doing raid damage. Kick the mages, gather it all up, and kill it quick. Loosely grouping the raid will help keep the ads together and make it easier to heal through this. On normal, that's it. On heroic, as far as I can tell, it's the same fight with bigger numbers, but no new mechanics. So that's Soulbinder Nazindri. Thanks for watching. I've got more raid guides if you want them, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Forge Weaver.
Bye. Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Forge Weaver Araz fight in Manaforge Omega on normal and heroic difficulty. If you like pink and purple, you are having the raid tier of your life. Arcane Obliteration goes onto his tank. This is a split soak that then spawns a big ad. Get lots of people in the ring to share damage. On normal, you can keep this in melee for easy soaking and to kill the ad quickly. Araz is also stacking up the overwhelming power dot on his tank. Swap on 2 stacks. Invoke Collector activates one of these 3 collector thingies. It'll spit out energy motes to dodge. Watch your feet. This gets exciting when you've got a few collectors going. Astral Harvest will mark a few players to spawn little ads. Run under the boss with that, and then CC and kill the ads before they can walk to their collector. The graphic shows you which direction your ads are headed, so check where they're going, and then drop them off on the far side.
Okay, so they run
Silencing
towards
Tempest
collectors,
marks
okay.
a few players to drop silencing circles, run out a bit, and keep moving until it's over. When the boss reaches full mana, it's intermission time. He'll kick everyone back and do some raid damage. The collectors can now be attacked, and you need to kill all of them before they reach full energy. Start on the higher energy ones. To save travel time, it might be useful to split the raid and work on 2 at once. While you're at it, watch out for line attacks from the collectors and circles on the ground. They'll toast ya. Shielded Attendant ads will spawn during this phase for the tanks to pick up. These ads ramp up attack speed as they continue to hit the same target, so tanks can trade attendants when they start to get scary. They'll periodically get a big absorb shield, so best to focus them down if they're living for ages and reshielding a bunch. Finish these ads while you're killing the collectors. When the final collector goes down, or if you push the boss to 15% health, he moves into the final phase. You get a 12-second burn window here where the boss takes 100% more damage. It's a good time for cooldowns. Then, it's crunch time. The front edge of the room becomes a deadly vacuum that gets stronger over time. Fight the pull. Void Harvest marks players to spawn ads, and these ones just want to walk into the vacuum. Run them away from the pulling edge and kill them before they get there. You'll continue to
Okay.
get the Silencing Tempest, and tanks still need to swap with their dot. Aside from that, use what you have left and finish the fight before
God,
you
this
get
seems like a
slurped
cast
into
or hell.
oblivion. On normal, that's it. On heroic, the phase 1 soak gets a bit fancier. First, soaking will now leave a debuff, meaning you'll need to split the raid and alternate 2 groups to take the soak. Second, the big ad now has Mark of Power, juicing up him and the boss if they get too close. Run the soak at least 20 yards away from the boss, and keep the ad away while you kill it. And that's Forge Weaver Araz. Thanks for watching. I've got more raid guides if you want them,
Okay.
and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!
Time for the Demon Hunters.
Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Soul Hunters fight in Manaforge Omega on normal and heroic difficulty. This is technically the optional boss of the raid, but they have awesome loot including tier shoulders and these special rushy rat buffing boots. This is a council fight, and we're tackling all 3 at once. They do not share health, and you must bring them all down together to avoid a wipe. One tank
Okay,
takes Alyssa,
classic.
and the other takes Velarin. Adaris is just gonna jump around and do his own thing. Velarin will aim an I-beam frontal at her tank, point it away from people, and tank swap after each I-beam. Alyssa will occasionally fracture her tank, breaking off bits of their soul into these images that need soaking. Other players that are not that tank can quickly run into those fragments to remove them. Taking a fragment applies a dot, so watch your health. Failing to pick these up causes a variety of problems, so get it done. At the beginning of the fight, there will be a couple of these purple soaks. Get one player into each of them, and that player will be marked with Devourer's Ire. Ire makes you take extra physical damage, so this is not a job for tanks. With the Ire debuff, you can walk into these big purple puddles to soak them up and clear space. It's a pretty small room, so this is an important job. Having Ire and soaking puddles kind of hurts, so use personal defensives and maybe don't assign this job to little Timmy on his 4th ult that's wearing nothing.
This sounds like
Healers
that-
may
I'm gonna be
notice
stuck
that
with that
Ire
job.
is dispellable. If you do dispel it, it does some rate damage and then jumps to another nearby player. Calm your itchy fingers and don't insta-dispel it, or else you'll cause a ton of damage and some confusion about who's on puddle duty. Just take it easy and pour big heals into the Ire players. They're gonna need it. Velarin will pick a player for the hunt. She's aiming kind of a lane attack at them, and you need to get some people between Velarin and her target to reduce the damage. The target can run away from her to make more room in the lane, and other people can get in the way to help out. Velarin also does Blade Dance, which is these little line attacks for melee to dodge. Alyssa's Spirit Bomb puts out a raid-wide healing absorb that needs to be healed off. It also will explode the tank soul fragments, but you already soaked those, so you're fine. When the bosses hit full energy, it's time for an intermission. 2 bosses will take a break, and 1 gets a little solo. These always happen in the same order, so you get Adaris first, then the next time is Velarin, and Alyssa goes third. If you haven't finished the fight by the time a 4th intermission comes around, you get them all at once, which makes for a spectacular enrage. In the first intermission, Adaris will jump to the middle and orbs will spawn around the edge of the room. Spread out and soak these orbs before they make it to the boss. The second intermission is Fell Rush, which is basically blaze lines for everyone. Spread out to avoid other people's lines, and don't wiggle your own too much. The third intermission is Frontal Cones. Big ones. Follow the boss around and sidestep her cone attacks. On normal, that's the fight. On heroic, we have a few key upgrades. Devourer's Ire now has a stacking dot component. Healers keep an eye on it and dispel the ire around 8 stacks.
That should be fine for that. We probably won't be that's getting to high level. I could watch like the other 3 tomorrow. There's no little chance we're getting that far in. Let's see. I need to look into being able to make a cauldron again. Catalysts, harmonious horticultures, experimentation. Let's see. Okay, bunch of herbs. Harmonious horticulture. Let's see. I'm guaranteed that I need an alchemy bench though. I can make. Let's transmute some stuff. Hey, volatile weaving. I got something finally. Not that I plan on using it, but volatile weaving. Okay, lots of chaos. I could just make a bunch and toss them in the guild bank, but it'd be nice if there's a thingy inside. Last thing we need is this raid being on mythic mode. Greetings. I say we just go for an 8 of 8, you know? Just quickly knock out, you know? In and out, you know? But I think the raid is still set to Mythic, so don't go in. Yep. Though, yeah, I'm guessing the rule still states that BOEs for Mythic don't drop until after the first boss trash. I would assume. I shouldn't need a toast. You're already here. Trying to push for those Discord points. Discord's gotta get their money somehow. You guys aren't buying enough boosts. Since, you know, Discord's, I guess, they were trying to do like the gaming platform as well, weren't they at one point? But I guess that failed. Yeah. Also, the NT has got no excuse of being Apparently Zelt have feet. In trade chat. At least according to him. You know, it's a believable reason. To be fair, when I first saw... let's be fair. When I first saw the cutscene where it revealed that, you know, the obviously known, like, I kind of could have guessed it, that we were working with Xal'atath. It's like, what's the first thing we see of her? Her feet. Like, literally first scene, she shows up. I even called it out on my stream when I saw it. I'm working on Grey Sarah. He's the tank. All he has to do is just stand there and look pretty, right? Who uses their real names? That's for real. Exactly. Who would use their real name? cleared the raid last week. How'd you do that? Did you solo it?
Analogous energy signals detected. Arcane barrier holding.
We have tripped the Maniforge's security measures and cannot materialize. Destroying this construct should lower the Maniforge's defenses.
Analyzing. Contaminants detected. Neutralization subroutines activated.
Oh, I do have a flask cauldron still. Ironically. Should probably go out, summon general. Or do you have the fast warp out there? Because if you do go to the phase spot in Tazavesh, you can go to the warp point right outside the raid. If you go to any one of the like phase points where you'd phase to a phase, you can then immediately click on the phase point circle thing, and it'll take you to any point you've been to, which there's one right there at the raid. Instantly takes you there. Also, Hannah, like you said, we're gonna farm mythic ads. It's just, the ads are two ads. That probably don't really drop loot. Also, Hein, just Also, Hein, great time for me to realize that I still have a cauldron from leftover from last year I never used. A flats cauldron, so if we ever want to use it. And here I was thinking it's like...
4, 3, 2.
Find shelter.
Pollutant level high. Immediate purge required.
I am out of range.
Target you.
Sorry. That's a soak.
Find shelter.
Contamination levels rising. Annihilation protocol engaged. Contaminant neutralized.
Target you.
I'm staying this time. try to kill before the next phase.
Target you.
Headpiece champion. Team Og. All right. First boss, not too bad. A good warm-up. And I'm allowed to roll on trinkets, right? Don't know what you're talking about. It's not a boss. I just need the one that's for the 2-piece. I over here get an offhand from my time walking box.
Now that we're inside, we should deal with the Shadow Guard before pushing onward to the control chamber.
One path leads towards
Here I am
the
wondering
Shadow
where I'm
Guard
supposed to
brings
go, and it's like,
arcane wrappings.
I need to click the
other,
button.
to the mage who binds them.
Oh, Zaltath, you're green here.
The
Nice.
Shadow Guard.
She's
Do
no...
what you will. I have my own plans for the Mana Forge.
It's not a terrible way to do it, 'cause in case you, like, miss a week. There's still the catch-up for it.